Welcome everybody to Create Your Future channel. We are talking about law of assumption here. My name is Caroline. I am a coach. I am available for one-on-one coaching. You have all the information on the box underneath below, as well as the links for the affirmation tracks for sale, the hypnotherapy pre-recorded tracks that are on sale for 50% off with the coupon code SAVE50. And today I would like to talk about in this video about manifestation and how to not overcomplicate it. I think a lot of time, most of the time, people overthink and make it way more complicated than it is. It is the most instant and simple thing that it is if you kind of let go of everything. So what does that mean, letting go of everything? And why, if it's that simple, how come we don't have everything that we want that fast? Well, I'm going to explain all this. Things get in the way. What does get in the way? Fear, doubt, anxiety, resentment, kind of all those low vibes type of feelings. We call them blocks, but that's what they are. They're just, they're based fear. They're based fear. They're fear-based, right? So the antidote would be trust. Trusting in what? What do we trust? What are we trusting, So there are words that maybe sometimes I have used, and I know some people don't like them. I have used the word universe. I use the word energy a lot, and I will continue to use the word energy. But if you don't resonate with the word universe, to me, it's the same as saying energy, basically, So it's really a matter of definition. People would say God. People would say source. What are we talking about? Consciousness. We're talking about the source within, the all that it is, that force inside that is within us, that is from our thoughts in our consciousness, is mirrored into our reality. No, I don't have the right words to express it, but basically it would be, they will all come to the same definition. So don't get too attached to a definition here. I'm talking about that one source, that one force, that one energy that creates that, from our consciousness. So our thoughts that are mirrored and that are being pushed out into the 3D reality. And when we focus without any blocks, meaning without any fear, without any doubt, and it's just pure trust, it can be, and it is, instant, the manifestation. So if you do not overthink anything, and if you don't overcomplicate it, you will see things just show up very, very, very easily and very, very fast. So one of the exercises that I love to play with and practice, and I encourage always my clients to do and play with as well, is to it's just to practice and play with things. So in the past 5 days, I wrote down 11 things that pretty much manifested instantly or overnight. Little things that I said in my mind and I see manifest. Okay, so for instance, I have neighbors right underneath me. I live in a tower. There are 57 floors and there are 12 apartments per floor. So do the math. 12 times 57, right? It's a lot of apartments. The people who live exactly right underneath me, the owners, let's say, they don't spend much time in their apartment. They actually live most of the time in a different country, in a different continent. So pretty much on the other side of the planet. I've never met them. And I wanted to see them. I wanted to meet them. I wanted to see how they looked like. I was curious about it. I focused on it. And I wondered, who are they? Who are my neighbors right below me? The next day, they were in the elevator with me. And I know it was them because they were not only, they pressed the button of the floor below me, but they had the mail with the apartment number. So I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I did, I placed that focus and I let it go immediately. I placed that focus and I focus, I zoomed in and it was manifested. And then I said, well, the next day I got back in the elevator and the doors opened and the elevator was empty. And I was like, well, what are the chances that I would be in the elevators with them again? It's like, well, when the doors got open, they were not in there. And I said, well, of course, it happened only once. And then I was like, no, why would it happen only once? They're going to be in this elevator again. We arrived in the ground floor. The doors open, and as I exited, the couple walked in. And I was like, here we go. So I was like, to me, every single time, I loved it because it's a little proof, and I call it from the universe, but I know a lot of you don't like when I say that. So it's just always to remind me, it's a reminder of our own power. This is how it works. You focus and you let it go, meaning that you don't second think, you don't give it a second thought. That's it. You think it, you send it out, and you do not doubt it. You don't revisit your thought. You don't complicate it. So on and on I went. There was the elevator. Let's see, what else? I wrote it down for you guys. Oh, yes. So there was a friend I haven't spoken to in a month. I thought about her and I said, oh, I haven't heard from her in a month. I want to hear from her. The next morning, she texted me and she said, how are you? And I said, I responded and I said, you are texting me right now because I intended last night that you would. And, she knows about this type of, work that we do with law of assumptions. So she was like, oh, thoughts transmission. I got it. So that was fun. Another person who I'm having some difficulty with, and I was avoiding this person because I did not really want to deal with the problems. And then I figured, you know what? No, that's enough. I'm not going to avoid the situation anymore. I'm just going to have one last conversation to squash this little problem that we're having. So I thought about the person and I said in my head, you are going to contact me right now and we are going to clear this little problem. I turn around, open my fridge, start cooking, turn again around, and on the kitchen counter, the phone was, on the kitchen counter, and the message came through, and the person whom I had not spoken to in a few days, at that very instant, sent a message and reached out. Something extremely random that happened this morning, I thought about there's a mosaic game that happens in a few cities in the world. It's not a game, it's an artist that does some designs. They're like video game designs, and they are on the facades of some buildings. And I thought about those, their artwork. And I thought about those designs. I said, oh, I've never seen them in the city I'm in right now. Never seen them. And as a matter of fact, all the one that I've seen in New York or lately, they were very small. I wish to see a big one. Same day, within the hour, I saw 2 huge ones in this city. I've never seen them, and I've been in this city for 30 years now. So you know what I'm saying? It's like you focus, you emit, and boom, it happens instantly. You just emit, and it's instant. You have to build up this confidence that this is how it works and that there's no reason to doubt. But in order to now build it up for things that are more serious, that you really, really want in life, that you really want for a job, that you really want to move, that you really want for a house that you want to buy, that you really want for a person you want to marry, things that are, very important to you, you need to start really practicing with things that are a little more playful to build that confidence. And that really, start becoming solid. Your 3D reality is a mirror of your consciousness. And if you don't see this immediate response in your 3D reality, is because you constantly put some roadblocks with, it's like an interference of other thoughts that, go in a million directions, and it could be a million doubts, a million fears, a million other things. People trying to convince you that, it's impossible, or you want that house, you want to buy that house. Well, it will take you 10 years of hard work before you can, gather enough money to put the down payment, or, whatever. People put a lot of things in our heads that will throw us off track. And our job is to remember that only we can think our thoughts. And if we really want something, we have to stick to our story and be really confident in that one story and not allow other people to scare us and to allow us to deviate, and then let go of our dream and let go of our desire and let go of what it is that we want. Because what it is that you want, there's no reason that you could not have it. You can have it, but you have to stick to your story and trust, and never overcomplicate it. There's no reason to. All right, guys? I intend that you have a magnificent week, and I will speak to you next week. Bye-bye.